What's going on, guys? Today in this video, I want to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day and what I want from this movie. Since it's just so early, we still have a year till this film even comes out, I want to go over just like what I expect from it, what I really want to see in this film, whether it's character stuff, villain stuff, story stuff, whatever it is. That's what I want to dive into here today. But of course, this is the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man film that's going to be coming out in the MCU, or you could say the first film in his new trilogy, potentially. We really don't know yet. Honestly, again, it's way too far out. This movie, again, we don't even have any footage, nothing, because all we have so far is set photos, some like news and rumors and all this other stuff about the movie. I feel like there's a million headlines every single day about the film, but again, I kind of want to just pull everything in today using like my webs, I guess you could say my spider webs, to pull everything in, like Tobey Maguire on that subway car in Spider-Man 2, and just talk about what I expect from this film, and yeah, what I want from this film, I guess you could say, more so. But listen, guys, I want to give you guys my thoughts, of course, on Tom Holland's Spider-Man as a whole. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not really a fan of the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love the character. I love Andrew's Spider-Man movies. I love Tobey's Spider-Man movies, of course, because who doesn't? I kind of don't like all three of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. I think I dragged it a bit. I like Homecoming. I like No Way Home. Far From Home, I really do not like. I think that's a really bad movie, especially a bad Spider-Man movie. But either way, I think it's like a below-average trilogy within the MCU, and I know that's kind of a hot take. Some people love Tom Holland Spider-Man, some people don't. Tom Holland Spider-Man as a character, I think is pretty good. Like, I don't hate the character. I think it's more so just the movies. I think John Watts is such a bad director. Like, I'm sorry, no disrespect to him, but just genuinely, I look at some of the other directors working today, especially someone like the new director that they got, Mr. Destin, in there, and I feel like he's just sauceless. He has nothing going for him, honestly. Nothing against him. I just mean when it comes to the Spider-Man films, was not a fan of what he did with those movies. However, with that being said, again, I like Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think he's a pretty good character. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's amazing, like the Amazing Spider-Man, of course. But listen, guys, what do I expect from Spider-Man 4? I think we just need to get into it here. First of all, it feels so amazing that this is just a fresh start, and now we know that it's going to be a grounded story, or at least I'm like 99% sure. There was some rumors of like, Tobey and Andrew are going to come back. That would have been so stupid. And also, kind of want to just throw this out there, I literally just watched last night Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. I had nothing to do, and God, they're just so good. So honestly, it really got me in the Spider-Man mood. I just wanted to talk about Spider-Man. But yeah, that's a little sidetracking note there. But what do I want from this movie? Thank God it's not multiversal, because I really wanted a street-level Spider-Man story. It's funny because I love so many characters in fiction, right? Hundreds of them practically at this point. But there's something about Peter Parker specifically where whenever I look at him, as much as I love him, whenever I see him just getting beat down, when life is just absolutely destroying him, I'm like, yeah, let's go, because that's when you get the best Spider-Man stories, is when Peter Parker is just suffering the most. Another character like that, oddly enough, is like Harry Potter, where I feel like whenever he's just suffering, it's when you're getting the best story. Like, it's just the reality. And again, I love these characters. I love to see them happy, but I love watching them try to like overcome that hump, try to figure out how they could get out of their situation, or just deal with their situation and find that true happiness and find their purpose and find their hero's, journey, I guess you could say, kind of go through that hero's journey. And I just think that it's one of these things where now it's going to be a grounded story. Peter Parker, I'm hoping he's going to be dead broke. I hope he's going to be in some garbage apartment. And it sounds pretty wrong, but now that nobody knows who he is, which is pretty traumatic, honestly, and a very unique situation, because in the other Spider-Man trilogies or duology with Andrew Garfield, they were kind of just Spider-Man. But now Tom Holland's Spider-Man was Spider-Man, but then everyone he ever knew forgot who he was, and now he is Spider-Man, but he doesn't know another soul on the planet. Kind of a weird situation, again, but I think still, regardless, it offers a fresh start, which is the most important thing. And we got new looks at the suit. I'm a really big fan of the suit. I see some people jumping to the conclusions that it's the best Spider-Man suit. Let's pump the brakes, because first of all, we haven't seen it on camera. There's a good chance, honestly, that they're going to CGI this suit to death. Now, I heard some stuff about how Destin is going to be, like, really focusing on practical stuff, which I absolutely love. Please give me as many practical effects as possible. Again, though, CGI obviously looks really great. We're in 2025, even though I feel like it's a bit on and off. But either way, it doesn't matter. I feel like when it comes to things like the web swing, if you could throw just some little practical things in there, I'd love to see it. But when it comes to the suit, again, I think it looks really awesome. Super clean. Do I love it as much as like Tobey's or Andrew's? No, not yet, because it's just so early. Do I like it more than Tom's suit in the other movies? For sure. So I think this is the best Tom suit, at least. Honestly, a lot of people give a lot of crap to the Iron Spider suit, and I understand why, but since it's like in its own category, I honestly kind of like it. Like when Spider-Man's going to space, which we've never really seen in movies before, I think that's pretty cool. So you know what? I'll give them credit there. I really do like the Iron Spider suit, and I know that's kind of going against the grain here, but when it comes to Tom's like regular suit from that trilogy, or kind of like the ones that he had, I think that this suit wipes them for sure. So the Brand New Day suit, I'm on board with. I really like it, and hopefully we see a suit change in this movie, because I feel like the tease they put out with like the raised webbing doesn't really match with this suit. So maybe he'll have two suits. Who knows? Going on from there, talking about the villains and the story and all that. I saw reports that there's going to be multiple villains in here. We know that Scorpion is apparently going to be in here, possibly Mr. Electro, or no, Mr. Negative, I should say, not Mr. Electro. I'm down for that. I really have nothing to say. I like the fact that they're sort of, heightened reality villains, where like they're not full-on fantasy, but like maybe if Scorpion has like technology attached to him rather than like actually turning into a Scorpion, that could be pretty cool. But either way, these people seem relatively grounded. But I do need to talk about something else that I'm not really a fan of, and this is just a personal thing. First of all, you got Jon Bernthal coming in for this movie as Punisher. I love that. I think that's awesome. I haven't seen the Punisher show. I watched like half of the first season, so I have like a feel for his character, but I just love Jon Bernthal. It's as simple as that. So you tell me he's going to be in here. I like his personality. He's got like that, like that rough personality. He's got like that country kind of bumpkin thing going on, but absolutely love Jon Bernthal, love the actor, and I love to see his Punisher, and the way that he could play off of Spider-Man would be really awesome, especially because I feel like their morals are completely unaligned, where Spider-Man's like kind of good trying to save people, Punisher is also good, but he's not really trying to save people, he kind of just like kills his villains brutally. But the one thing that I really don't like, and I know people are going to disagree with me, which is okay, I don't like that Hulk is going to be in this movie, apparently. Supposedly, it's rumored, heavily rumored that Hulk is going to be in this movie. I'm not a Hulk fan whatsoever, personally. It's literally just a personal thing. I don't think anyone that likes Hulk is like wrong or something. It's just me. I just find the character of Hulk to be so boring because of the fact that his powers are essentially, I am big and strong and I just punch stuff. Like, I just personally enjoy people that have like unique power sets, and it's just me. I don't find Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner to be like the most interesting, complex character. I almost liked how Edward Norton played him a bit. He seemed a bit complex in that original movie, even though I think that movie kind of sucks, but never was like really in love with Hulk. I really like, Mark Ruffalo I think is a great actor, and I do enjoy his Bruce Banner, but I think he could have been better, and I also think like the way they've done Hulk recently has been like even worse, like souring my mouth even to a lower degree. I think I like Hulk in like Ragnarok, like to me that's where he peaked just personally, but I've got to say, man, like I'm just not really a Hulk fan, and I do wish that this story did kind of remain relatively grounded. Like, sure, right? We're in the MCU, things are going to be crazy naturally, but I look at a story like Homecoming, right? That was pretty much grounded, besides Iron Man showing up just for a little bit. And it's just kind of one of these things where I'm like, we just had No Way Home, right? Things were pretty crazy, a lot going on. You got like 6 villains, you've got 3 Spider-Men. Now in this movie, Spider-Man 4, it's kind of like we have like 3 heroes and maybe 3 or 4 villains, which, I'm not complaining necessarily, but at the same time, I'm just a bit confused where it's like, I would have kind of liked the formula, if you will, back to formula. I would have really liked the formula of just like Spider-Man, maybe one side character going against one villain, and maybe that villain's henchman. But like again, I maybe this movie would be great, right? I'm not saying it's not going to be great, because I actually think it does have potential, which I'll talk about in a second here. But I do feel like it's one of these things where I wish we kind of just kept things simple. But the reason I think this has potential, okay, is because I think New York will really feel lived in. Like, New York's been a huge part of the MCU. It's basically been the major city of this franchise when you think of it. And it's one of these things where the characters have been pretty important, like the citizens of the city. Like, I looked at the first Avengers movie, which I think did that really well, but I feel like now you could really incorporate the fact that New York is lived in. It's a gritty city, kind of like a Hell's Kitchen with Daredevil, all that. if you have a bunch of small villains running around, like a Scorpion here, you've got just like Punisher, who's, not really a villain, but just running around. It just feels more lived in. You can kind of have some world building going on. And again, I know that we spent years building out the MCU and then kind of honing things in a bit more, years building out New York. Even in Thunderbolts, we built out New York. But it's just one of these things where I feel like we could really explore this city with our web-swinging, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I think that could really be awesome. And especially now that we're back to the idea that nobody knows who Spider-Man is, we could kind of play into that a bit more. We could have Spider-Man's neighbor asking him for his rent. It could really feel like gritty, like how Sam Raimi did that really well. Especially, again, in Spider-Man 2 with that subway scene where everyone's got Spidey's back, man. I just think that's incredible. It's just one of these things where I think, like, I'm interested to see where the story goes. And I trust the vision of Destin, because it's one of these things where, and honestly, I know that I'm kind of that's just what I call him, I don't know, but it's one of these things where when it comes to Destin's vision, right, Destin Cretin, whatever his name is, I look at Shang-Chi, and I look at those fights, I look at the way he explored the character, and I'm really interested in seeing where he takes Spider-Man, because again, it's kind of like you're just giving him a blank slate. There isn't really a lot of baggage. Apparently Zendaya is going to be in this movie, apparently Ned is going to be in this movie, Jacob, Batalon, I believe is his name. So that's a little bit of baggage, but at the same time, him dealing with like this new identity or just new life that he has to live, I think is interesting. And the fact that Daniel's going to really be able to cook here as the director, I believe in him, and I think that they made a smart decision. Honestly, I wish he was just making Shang-Chi 2, but it's fine, I get it. Give him the next best thing with Spider-Man. These fights are about to be crazy. And one thing I will say is that I know we've been seeing some stuff with like the behind the scenes kind of like set stuff. I'm really excited to see what they do, man, because it's been looking awesome so far. Part of me loves what we're seeing, but part of me is like, I wish I saw no behind-the-scenes stuff, which obviously, if I stay off the internet, sure, but it's impossible to miss if you're on there. But either way, it's probably not going to spoil anything. Probably going to be something like in the beginning of the movie. But I think this movie's going to be awesome, man. Really looking forward to a brand new day. And listen, not that he needs to prove anything to me, but I'm just talking about my own personal opinion. I think this might be a film that could really like change the tides when it comes to how I see Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Maybe this could really kick us off into like a new, real great trilogy, and this might be my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. This is a really good chance at doing so, especially because of the director change and the fact that it feels more like an original Spider-Man story. I'm not saying that you always have to do the same thing with Spider-Man, but I kind of do like that we're going back to the formula here, back to formula, to quote the great Norman Osborn. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Spider-Man Brand New Day and what you guys want to see in the film. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.